Hi guys, welcome back to the channel FPL Consult here, and in today's video I'm going to share with you guys a Gameweek 9 wildcard draft that I've put together for those of you who are activating the wildcard chip this week. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, please do drop a like, please do subscribe as well. And let's start off in goal with Nick Pope. Now even though he did not keep a clean sheet against Brighton in Gameweek 8, I still do think like right now if you are going for a keeper, it has to be Nick Pope. Newcastle defensively are still putting up very good numbers. Across the first 7 to 8 game weeks, they are still matching Arsenal in terms of expected goals conceded. So overall, I think they are a very strong defense. Nick Pope is also much cheaper than David Raya. And then as a substitute keeper on the bench, it's still Dubravka at 4.0 million. Now, in terms of the defense, I have Timber, Senesi and Gabriel here. So I would still go for double Arsenal defense. I mean, the defense right now is absolutely elite. It has been for the past few seasons already. But I think this season, they've kind of bridged a different level where clean sheets are just a very high potential for them. And then you add the odd attacking return for players like Gabriel and Timber, who in their own right are very good in terms of attacking threat as well. So I've chosen to go for double Arsenal defense here. And then Senesi here, granted that in game week 10 and 11 it's not easy fixtures for them, but that's why I have some other defenders on the bench to rotate with Senesi. At least for game week 9 itself, Nottingham Forest at home is a decent enough fixture. Sean Dyche has now come in. Whether or not that gives Nottingham Forest a bit of a new manager bounce, we'll see, but I do fancy Senesi for DEFCON as well as getting a clean sheet at home. Now on the bench, I have Michael Keane and also Alderete as the two defenders there. Now I'll speak about Michael Keane first. So Jarrad Branthwaite, as of this Tuesday, he's just gone for an operation on his hamstring that has kind of plagued his career over the past few, weeks already, or months, I should say. And basically, it does not seem like Jarrad Branthwaite will be back anytime soon. In which case, Michael Keane, who is a whole 1 million cheaper than Tarkowski, and also very good for DEFCON, and he does have that knack of getting returns as well. This season, he's already scored 2 goals. So yeah, Michael Keane for 1 million cheaper is coming up as a very good option. I think people are also starting to realize that. The only reason why I've chosen to include him here is because firstly, he rotates really well with Senesi. In game week 10 and 11, when Senesi has tougher fixtures, you can very well use Michael Keane there. He plays Sunderland in game week 10. So I do like the fact that there's some form of rotation here, but also in that I do feel the other 4.5 million options that you can go for, such as Joachim Anderson, he's currently yellow flagged. You wouldn't go for him. In terms of Richards as well, for the Crystal Palace defense, he's someone else you could consider, but I also do feel like Crystal Palace are much better in the attacking sense as they are in the defensive sense. I actually back Everton to get a couple of clean sheets over the next few weeks. So Michael Keane here over someone like Richards. If you fancy a Richards, you could go for Richards, of course. And then Alderete here is just a 4.0 million bench fodder. I've chosen to go for him over someone like a Mukele or a Rodon, but it's up to you who you choose as your bench fodder. It also depends obviously when you intend to bench boost. If you still have the chip, if you do, then you'll be going for a 4.0 million bench fodder that has a good fixture in the week that you want to bench boost. If not, this is how the goalkeepers as well as the defense looks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let's have a look at the midfielders. So in midfield, I've gone for Gakpo, Saka, Semenyo, Enzo Fernandez, and also King, who's 4.5 million and sat first on the bench right now. I'll get the easy ones out of the way first. Saka is still the attacking player that I would choose from Arsenal. So it's pretty much a double defense and one attacker. I choose Saka over Gyökeres, even though Gyökeres scored 2 goals in the Champions League last night, because I think Saka is still more consistent. And we also realized in game week 8 that he has DEFCON potential as well. He picked up 12 defensive contributions against Fulham in game week 8. So he has quite a few routes to points as well. I like Saka and I prefer him over Gyökeres still for now. In terms of Semenyo, he's just very consistent, returning pretty much every single game week, and I think honestly, nothing much to discuss when it comes to Semenyo here. So it's really Gakpo and Enzo Fernandez. I'll speak about Enzo Fernandez first. He has been pictured in training leading up to the Ajax game in the Champions League for Chelsea, and there is a very high chance that he will play against Sunderland in game week 9. If that's the case, I really fancy him again in that attacking midfield role that all of us were speaking about, as Cole Palmer is out until sometime in mid-November. So Enzo Fernandez is in here, but obviously do listen to what Enzo Maresca says in the press conferences for any latest news on Fernandes. Now, talking about Gakpo now, 7.5 million. Is he worth the money? I do think like if I'm on a Game Week 9 wildcard, there is some value in going slightly earlier on Gakpo here against Brentford away, which is not exactly a very easy fixture. But the point here is that you would eventually want someone like a Gakpo come Game Week 13 when Liverpool's fixture run turns, or even as early as Game Week 12. So you're saving yourself a future transfer, but also in that I do feel the Liverpool attack is still good, even though they lost 2-1 to Manchester United and are on a run of 4 losses. But I still think that their attack is good, and if I'm to choose one attacker out of someone like Isak, Salah, all those Liverpool attackers, I still do think like Gakpo is the one to go for, who is nailed for starts, plays majority of the minutes whenever he's fit as well, which is something that we didn't expect going into this season. He's even better for minutes as compared to Ekitike. So point is to say that I do think Gakpo is the Liverpool attacker of choice that you'd go for, even by the time Game Week 12 or 13 comes around. In which case, I don't mind just going early here and paying the 7.5 million for him. So Gakpo is here, and obviously with that, the midfield is pretty expensive. And then you add on the 2 defenders that we spoke about just now with Timber and Gabriel, who are also rather expensive. Something has to give, and that's where King from Fulham at 4.5 million is the compromise. You can't really go for, I mean, if you do have the budget, then fair enough, you can go for 5 million to 5.5 million bench fodder. But with this draft, I've tried to keep it a little bit cheaper, and therefore going for King at 4.5 million, who does get regular starts at Fulham and looks very bright as well, potentially some returns moving forward. But the point is to say that you won't be using him every single week. He's more of a bench fodder there. So there we go with the midfield, and let's have a look now at the forwards. So up front, I think this is where the forwards pick themselves. It's Voltemade, Haaland, and also Mateta. I don't have to speak about Haaland because he's in incredible form right now, super consistent, getting returns against every single team. I don't even think you should consider another captain until his form dips, for example. So I even think this week against Aston Villa, this is a week I would still captain the robot. Speaking about consistency, I think Voltemade this season has also displayed incredible consistency, scoring in 4 out of the 5 Premier League games that he's played so far. And I think more than just his attacking returns, which is obviously very FPL focused, but a little bit of a side note is also the way that he links up play in that Newcastle attack, I think is something that has gone a bit under the radar. His link up play, the way that he sprays the passes left and right whenever he kind of collects the ball from deep, I just do think like he does give me a bit of a sense that this was some form of Isak last season, and it's just a perfect replacement, Voltemade, that Newcastle have brought in to replace Isak. So I think he is an incredible footballer, and I think attacking returns will continue to come for him. He's also in a very confident vein right now, and I do feel like this is where, with the fixtures coming up, you have to go for him. Aside from that, there's also Mateta, who's getting lots of big chances and creating lots of XG as well. He is someone that I think could have, scored by now a good 3 to 4 more goals than his current tally, just because of how many good chances Crystal Palace create, and it always falls to Mateta. So with that hat-trick in Game Week 8, it's very hard not to include him in the draft, even though he plays Arsenal in Game Week 9. Now, I'm not going to put it past Crystal Palace to get attacking returns against Arsenal as well, because they are genuinely a very strong attacking side. So I wouldn't put it past Mateta to get something, and I would still include him in the draft. Point is to say also that from Game Week 10 onwards, the fixtures for Crystal Palace are very good. So you're just going to have to bite the bullet here and have him for Arsenal away. Now, that's it with the Game Week 9 draft. Generally, you would play a 3-4-3 formation for most weeks. In terms of going for variations here, you could try to go for some form of a 4-4-2 if you do think like you prefer playing a DEFCON defender. Now, there's been lots of talk about how going for defenders this season seems to be the better play, right? Because DEFCON is much more reliable in terms of getting points. Fair enough. And if that's your kind of meta, then I feel like going for a 4-4-2, dropping one of Mateta or Voltemade down to 4.5 Krupi Jr. could be the play. And you could even upgrade someone like a Michael Keane, who's currently second on the bench, all the way up to Munoz, for example. But Munoz does have Arsenal away, so you do have to bear that in mind. If you choose to go for a 3-5-2, for example, you could still go for Krupi Jr. up front in place of Voltemade or Mateta, and then use that funds to upgrade King, who's first on the bench right now, to another kind of 6.5-7 million asset, maybe a Ismail Assar, or looking elsewhere, you could even go for Minte as well. So there we go with the Game 9 wildcard draft as well as some variations. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. And I will catch you guys in more Game Week 9 content coming very, very soon. Bye-bye.